Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Key Glock. Now, Key Glock is a Memphis rapper who's also the cousin of Young Dolph. Now, he's been responding and trying to, while at the same time, I'll say this, he's been trying to stay out of this whole mess with the Young Dolph case, but it looks like the way things have been going online has struck a chord with Key Glock. He's taken to social media to lash out about some of the coverage of none other than straight Dropp. Now, he put out a post there where he obviously didn't like everybody bringing up people who really, aren't that well known, really didn't have a big name, and essentially making them stars today, or at least kind of infamous in the hip-hop sphere. Now, if that doesn't make sense when I go over this post, it will. But before we get to the specifics and talk about exactly what Key Glock posted, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this post made by Key Glock. Now, Key Glock was obviously upset because it seems like straight Dropp is starting to get a name out here. You know what I mean? It seems like everybody involved in Dolph's case is starting to get a name out here. And Key Glock, Young Dolph, cats like that, I mean, they are established rappers. People, putting their names out there isn't a big deal, right? But obviously, straight Dropp and all the people who are allegedly involved in the shooting death of Young Dolph getting kind of famous off that, it's a double-edged sword, man. It's horrible because you don't want to see them get some shine for doing something wrong if they did, because at this point, we don't know if they did it or not. But it is a big news story, so people are going to have to cover it, man. People are going to want to hear about it, and people are going to want different perspectives about it. But Key Glock went to social media, and he said this about the whole ordeal. Okay, now in this post, Key Glock said this. He said, "Dear blogs, y'all be posting these irrelevant, negative nonsense. Help keeping these lames relevant. Like for what? Y'all part of the problem with all that messy stuff that goes down in the industry. Like, what do y'all get out of that instigating?" With a whole bunch of question marks. Now, Key Glock here, let's break this down. He's saying, he had this like a letter, man. He had his comment there and everything. He says, "Dear blogs, y'all be posting these irrelevant, negative nonsense." Now, to be honest, that is not the case. And I like Key Glock a lot, man. I like his music. I was into Key Glock and Dolph just like most people way before all this tragedy struck, right? So, man, to be honest, people posting all that negative stuff is really up-to-date stuff that fans want to hear. You know what I mean? Blogs, now, I think he's addressing this to bigger blogs like, your Instagram blogs and stuff like that. Or maybe he might be addressing this to bloggers and YouTube spaces like that, right? But to be honest, people want to hear that information, man. People want to know the latest stuff that's happening, especially in a court case that's high profile that you see on CNN. I'm talking about you seeing Young Dolph's case on CNN and all the major news outlets. They want to know, especially from hip-hop blogs who have an idea and an understanding of the culture, exactly what's going on, man. And that's the truth. Now, he continued by saying, helping keep lames relevant, like for what? And I think that's the part where I thought he was talking maybe about straight Dropp or one of the other cats who are involved in the case, because their names are everywhere. But to be honest, if it wasn't for blogs covering it, everybody would be talking about it regardless. It's just blogs have the inside track, man. They've been watching these rappers, talking about these rappers, himself included, way before mainstream even knew who Key Glock was or who knew Young Dolph was. You know what I mean? Well, maybe not Young Dolph. We're not going to get crazy. Young Dolph was big before he would have been big without any blogs or anything like that. And the same with Key Glock, right? But when it comes to like straight Dropp and these guys who are directly involved in the case, their names are in it because they're suspects. There's nothing other than that. Before they were suspects, people were talking about them because there was potential for them to be suspects. Now that they've actually been indicted, I mean, that's a big story. That's humongous. Even the news channel on the local news there, you're going to see all the views that it's getting, compared to all the other stories that they run with all this stuff about Young Dolph and straight Dropp and the other guy, Cornelius Smith, and the other suspect. You know what I mean? So it's just how it goes, man. That's just media, to be honest with you. He says also that y'all part of the problem with all that messy stuff. Now, I don't think reporting news stories or reading news stories is being messy. And I see a lot of the blogs out there, especially in this case, have been like the bigger blogs, they've been extra careful of not throwing in those secondary names and stuff like that, or accusing people of things that they weren't supposed to be accused of and stuff like that. So I don't know. And he says that goes down in the industry. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff that goes down in rap. But to be honest, man, a lot of rappers post most of the stuff that's used by blogs themselves on their Instagram or whatever social media platform that they frequent. You see what I'm saying? And he said, like, what do y'all get out of instigating? And really, blogs and say like these social media pages, I mean, there's some huge ones out there. They're just a funnel for information, man. It's better than going to the traditional news for some people because they can go to that information straight from their phone and don't have to go through a whole bunch of news stories and stuff they don't care about. They might actually run into a whole bunch of different topics within hip hop that they do care about and that they are interested in, and it just happens to be one of them. And this just happens to be one of the hottest topics. But Key Glock wasn't done there. He also said this to close it out. And right after that, he made a post that said this. It said, now go post that. Now, basically letting people know that that's how he feels. That's what he's thinking. And now go post that. And obviously, people are going to run with it, man. The fans are talking about it. So that's why I'm talking about it too, man. And I know that I'm not feeling personally attacked at all. So please don't take that from this. And I know he's not talking about cats like me. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about actual, like, the big stories and the big places that are talking about this situation that's out there. And I bet it could be a lot, especially when you take into the fact that it's a family member and they probably have to relive that tragedy over and over every time this topic gets brought up. It could get old, I bet, man. I could understand that, man, wholeheartedly. But to be honest, news media outlets, social media outlets, and blogs, they've got their purpose in the game. You know, they've got their purpose, and it's really just to get information out there and give the latest and greatest updates with a little bit of perspective on it, you know, for people who are interested in hip hop and hip hop culture, which is humongous now, which is pretty much everybody, you know, especially when it's these huge stories. Everybody wants to know the ins and outs. People go back, they look at old videos and old posts by these big sites just to see the stories and to catch up on the history and stuff like that. And that's probably the best explanation of what I think, or why I think that these things are, you know, sought after, man. And also, people do love drama. We can't leave out the low hanging fruit that people love drama, man. People love to tune in to people getting into stuff. People love to tune in to people doing crazy things, and it's entertaining at the end of the day. But what do you guys think, man? Do you think that Key Glock has a point that a lot of people or the blogs are wrong by covering this story? Or do you feel like it's just another part of entertainment and it is another part of, you know, it's a part of hip hop culture at this point, and there's not really much you can do about it, man, except just turn a blind eye to it and keep it pushing. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.